What's up, everybody? This is yours truly, the Mind of Myron, coming to you from the Mastermind Collective. Yes, a new brand, new imprint, all that, and more details on that to come. But to be honest with y'all, I'm in workout attire. Gotta go take a shower. But I knew when I got home from the gym, I had to check out this new series on OWN called David Makes Man. Like, I kept seeing the previews. I've been watching Ambition, so I kept seeing the previews, and I thought initially that this show was a movie, and then I was like, nah, it's a series, and it's by the director, executive producer, one of the two, I think, director and writer of Moonlight. So I was like, man, this looks good. The cinematography looks good. The storyline looks good, because it showed previews without giving you too much. So I was like, let me watch this. Let me see this show, because OWN has been putting out some pretty good shows. If you're sleep on watching OWN television, definitely check out OWN. They have some great shows on the network. So more importantly, especially Greenleaf coming back too in September. But we might do some videos for Greenleaf. Not sure yet. This is all a part of the Mastermind Media part of the collective. So anyway, David Makes Man. Episode 1, I'm hooked. Bit of a roller coaster ride throughout this episode. Emotions definitely in the play. We see David, this young boy, and it's kind of sad watching the episode, because you see David dealing with something that realistically is something that's happening in a lot of our households in the black community. We have this young boy basically raising his younger brother. He's a middle schooler, basically raising his 9-year-old brother because his mom has to work. And then she was on drugs, and then just dealing with the surroundings of trying to get out the hood and dealing with being in the hood at the same time. So that's kind of the combination you get, especially if you even read the synopsis. It's kind of like David dealing with being in the hood and trying to get out the hood, because he's in this magnet program. You know, the goal is, you can tell the goal is for him to better himself. But he still got to deal with he got his goals and he has his reality. He has his goals and he has his reality, and trying to manage both of them, which is a lot for a kid. And you just look at it like, man, as a teacher, this is something that happens, especially in the school. I'm in the school, you know, we have some kids that's in poverty, man. I see it, and it just kind of touched me. Like, man, like, I know kids who go through this, who are dealing with this, and it's tough, man. But I think it's a good show. It's an eye opener that we all can watch, man. Just touching on the episode a bit, I knew the dude David was talking to. I'm still not sure who he is to David, whether he's a friend, a dad, or not sure. But the bald head guy with the glasses, he's kind of David's conscience. And the whole episode, we see him talking to this conscience or this guy, and I'm like, this guy's not real. Like, he's talking to himself. And at the end of the episode, we see like David is punching the wall, punching at the dude, talking to himself, because it seems like this guy is the guy who I guess in a sense has kind of been the guy that's been motivating David to try to get out the hood, maybe out of his situation, and nonstop, and it don't care who in your way, get to the top, man. So we see that kind of the relationship that he had is kind of like a resentment, because you're not here for me anymore. Like, you just in my mind, like, you're not here for me anymore. I got that vibe, and then it's just like some of the stuff he was taught, it came back to fail him in the end. I guess just looking at the big picture of it's kind of that relationship in the episode, and then David getting into it with his friend, man. So you see, they get to school. After he takes his little brother to school, he has to get himself together and get to his school, misses the bus, has to take the regular bus, not the school bus, to the school. And you see him have a friend, and you can kind of get the vibe off Dump. There's something off with this friend. Like, the friend looks like he's wealthy, has some, you know, on money or whatever, but you can get the vibe. Like, you got the vibe that something's off with this friend, and David knows that. So when he sees his friend get out the car, he can catch that vibe. So he's trying to perk him up at first, and then later on we see him kind of say something to his friend. We caught it, But like we didn't really get it until later on in the episode. Like, and when he lied about it, I know a lot of people, when I was looking on Twitter, a lot of us believed the lie. Like, oh, that's what he said, or that's what he meant by it. We thought, that's what he meant by the lie or what he was saying. But truthfully, he said something because his friend had told him something in confidence that only he knew and only he could talk to him about. And we saw that David's, passion to be number one, and some of the words the guy, his conscience was telling him, who was once a real person by the way, but telling him like kind of backfire and fail. So we see that relationship, and it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes into play, because when he saw him in that bathroom with all the bruises, like you really saw like David just kind of have like an out, and like damn, like that's why you told me this. Like I'm seeing it, like it's like a big I'm sorry moment. And like, man, it sucks because that's your homeboy, man. Doing something that's like one of your boys, that's gonna kind of eat at David. And I hope that they're able to get back on track, or David finds a way to help his friend out. We also see Felicia Rashad make her appearance on the show, and I hope she's like a main character on the show that we get to see a lot. Because it's always good to see Felicia Rashad acting, man. That she never fails. It's always delivery. So that was a great part as well. We also see some relationship. I don't know the guy's name, but the guy with the braids, red braids, I don't know their relationship. Maybe they're brothers, I'm not sure. But they have some kind of relationship, because this guy wants to be with, I don't know. Some stuff we're going to have to figure out. Because again, I will say this bit. The show was a tad bit confusing. Like, some of the stuff was confusing. Like, I guess everything was just to kind of give you like a taste and to kind of keep you lingering on. Because while it was great emotional, it still kind of, some things were confusing that you want to figure out. Which is good, because I'm definitely going to be tuned in next week. Set my DVR already for the whole series. And I'm interested to see their relationship. Getting to know more about the guy who keeps appearing as David's conscious. And people gotta think something a little off with David. Like, he got some issues. Like, you can tell he's been through a lot, but he got some issues, because he be talking to himself in front of anybody. Like, now I don't even think he knows that it's happening, but he be talking to himself in front of anybody. But I'm really intrigued about this show. I'm glad it came on. It's definitely a different type of television, but it's an appropriate type of television, right? It's something appropriate for us to see, and I'm gonna be watching, man. And just off that episode alone, Achille, I think his name is McDowell, the dude who plays the guy, young man who plays David. Man, give the kid his awards now. Like, I don't know if OWN has ever properly got. Sometimes they shortchange us. I give that, because yeah, Empire won, Viola Davis won, but when it's sometimes when it's out of the cable network, we ain't been winning like we should. And like on Greenleaf, some of them could have won some awards. Power should have won some awards, besides just at our award shows. But man, Achille McDowell, I think I'm saying his first name right, deserves something, man. Because just off that first episode alone, like his performance, especially for this being his like first major role, was powerful, man. I am excited to see what happens next on this show with all the characters, seeing their different dynamics and things of that nature. I hope you guys tune in with me. I'm gonna try to do a video. It's a show. Sometimes shows just take on you. Like, I kind of want to stay with this show. So I'm gonna try to do a video once a week. Every episode, come up here and knock something out real quick. Hope you enjoyed it. The Mastermind Collective. Follow us at Instagram, The Mastermind Collective. This is a part of the Mastermind Media segment. And something else for those who are still watching to this point. The new podcast, the first official thing really coming from the Mastermind Collective, is a new podcast series called the Big Rich Town Podcast. And this is basically going to be us journeying through the final season of Power, because I've always done YouTube videos or podcasts maybe on Power, and I feel like so many people watch it, I feel like so many people watch it, and so many people are going to be interested in this final season. And sometimes we just need somebody to talk to our favorite shows about, and I want to be that person. So me and my homegirl are going to be doing that podcast for y'all through the whole series of this final season. So I think 10 episodes are in the end of this year, and the last 5 are at the beginning of January. So we're going to journey through that, and then I'm going to drop a new podcast. I don't know what it's called yet, what it's about, but it's like a solid podcast that I'm going to keep down the road. But again, this is yours truly, The Mind of Myron, from the Mastermind Collective. You dig?